Hello. Whew. So it's a full moon today, and the kids are crazy. They're at a neighbor's right now. I'm paying a homeschooled child to watch them at their house. The whole family is. And oh my god, the two babies were so crazy this morning. It's like, oh my god. So I am like really grateful for this moment. And I did a meditation today, but now I'm going to channel. So I guess I'm curious what my higher self has to say about the full moon, and is that why they were so wild? And how can I use the full moon to my advantage? Dear God, you know my heart. You know my whole path. Holy Spirit, what would you have me know about full moon energy and how I can navigate this time and utilize it to its maximum potential? Dear Kelly, welcome. Welcome to your inner wisdom. Where you find love, where you set your intention for truth, where you look for the joy and the peace and the better perspective, the better possible perspective. When you set your attention there, you start momentum in the creation of your happiness. Because you are everything around you. You are not limited to this body. You are your children. You are your husband. You are your friends. Everything is one, which means that what you're looking at is all a reflection of what's coming from you. From whatever is inside you, it's projecting out there onto the world. The world is you. But you're observing it and experiencing judgment of it from a perspective of a very unique structure of limitation. Your spiritual body, your light body, has formed into a crystal that is shaped according to your beliefs. And it's shaped in a way that holds those beliefs in a physical structure. It's esoteric. It seems magical. It doesn't fully make sense to you because of the reality that you're in, has its own logic. But your light body is crystallized into a structure that is taking shape according to your conscious beliefs and unconscious beliefs. And the beliefs that you hold in your energetic frequency. Your DNA is related to that. So, the full moon is when there is nothing inhibiting the light from the sun shining on the moon. And then the light is refracted back to you on Earth in its full sphere, because the light actually is hitting the moon many times, but you see the shadow, right? So the Earth is not blocking some of the sun's light onto the moon. This is a full moon. And the sun is sending information out with its light. Its light isn't just heat. It's many things that you don't understand with your current scientific awareness. But part of it is energetic signatures of information. This is how leaves function. That's how plants grow. They're receiving programming from the sun, and nourishment from the water, hydration from the water, and information from the sun. It's kind of like what it's supposed to do. It's awakened. Its seeds are awakened by this energy. So when this light information hits the moon and then it hits the earth, it's a lot for your little antennae to take in. And when your antennae are sensitive and then they're being bombarded by all of this information that is filtered through the moon, okay? So the moon has its own crystalline structure that is filtering the information from the sun. And it's related to your emotions. It sort of translates the sun information into an emotional frequency. This isn't clear at all. I don't really feel like I'm getting much here. I think it's must not be for me right now, or it's not important, but what's important is that the moon is filtering it with its own story. The moon is a living being, just like the earth is, and the sun. They're actually living beings. They're just, obviously a different form than humans. But it has its own story, and it is filtering the sun information and then sending it to earth. And it's in full force. And that's why people are like, I don't really know what to do with this information. So it's always best, Kelly, this is your lesson right now. It's always best to be able to receive information in a clear channel, in an unobstructed vehicle. So we are giving you feedback right now to really cleanse. And in time, it will be easier for you to cleanse with what you're eating and your habits. But we really feel like channeling is the first step for you, because it will raise your frequency enough to make the better decisions in the other areas of your life. But the channeling is the first step for you to begin to get the ball rolling in all of the other areas of your life. It's the priority, because it makes everything else easier. If you started with your food, you'd struggle with all these judgments about your body. If you started with your relationships, they would be confusing. You wouldn't even know how to interpret your relationships, because the channeling just clears out your central processing unit, okay? So the channeling clears out how you interpret all of the areas of your life. It's like channeling must cleanse your third eye, it sounds like, so that your intuition can see clearly what is going on in this three-dimensional reality. So once you channel and you start to see things more clearly, and you start to realize the benefits of eating whole foods and high frequency foods and clean water, getting outside and having fresh air, giving compliments to people, being nice, being patient, having good habits, resting, spending time around positive people, not distracting yourself with electronics too much, meditating and questioning your judgments about your relationship issues, like conversations, who's responsible for what around the house, and how do you, where is the balance between how much you help your kids with their chores and their homework and their responsibilities and their own relationships. So finding a balance and finding the healthy habits in all of these areas is going to shift your crystalline structure. But knowing how to do that begins with the channeling. So the channeling begins the mental voice becomes louder. That helps guide you. Your guidance gets louder with the channeling, and then you're able to really step into your will, into your action with your vehicle, with your body, and function and operate in the 3D much more effectively when the channel is clear. So that's when this moon is going to make more sense to you. The moon energy that's coming from the full moon is very strong. It's just a very strong message that the moon has filtered from the sun. So one aspect is that the sun is very yang, okay? And the moon is very yin. And the yang and the yin can have different influences, readability. You know, some people understand yang energy better and some people understand yin energy better. It strikes us all differently. It's kind of like the difference in music. You know, it's the difference between classical music and rock music. Some people just resonate better with one type of energy. And everything is one, and everything can be used to help your soul elevate. And the cleaner you are a vessel for receiving all of these energies that are swirling around you, the more you'll be able to utilize that information, translate it into your own specific path, and expand from it. Because as all this information comes in, your crystalline structure, which is shaped by your beliefs, which are shaped by your habits and how you choose to be in the world, it's all the same thing. But as your crystalline structure filters all of these different, infinite, energetic frequencies hitting you with different messages, because a message is really just when information or energy is made into a thought form or into an idea based on the limitations that are presented to it. You know, it's just where form meets energy is where consciousness is created with judgment, with a belief, with an idea. So, anyway, the higher that everything elevates in your life, all the different aspects of your life, relationships, beliefs, habits, when all of it elevates to the point of integrity, truth, love, then your frequency raises and you are Your soul opens up. Your chakras open and receive more. And it does become this really joyous occasion because you're able to experience life more fully. So that's the path. But it's tricky because sometimes your ego wants to be in control, but it's limited to the third dimension, and the third dimension logic is so flawed that it doesn't really have the right answers for helping you expand. But it feels like it's in control. And so it's tempting because that ego has such confidence in itself. It's so tempting to trust it. And that's why it's important to channel, because channeling helps you realign your conscious awareness with your higher truth and not just your ego. So your ego is not bad. It just is what it is, you know. It was created, and it still functions as kind of like something to stand on as you operate in this three-dimensional reality. But it's not a crutch. It's time to release it as a crutch. It's time to just acknowledge that it's there and coexist with it, but really lean into your higher wisdom for truth and advice. And it's a dance between the ego and the higher self that you must learn to flow with, because you can't just abandon your ego completely. There are still things, if you try to abandon it, it's almost like you'll pull onto it harder. So you've got to learn how to dance with it and kind of let it peel away, as opposed to like just like ripping it and throwing it out, you know, because it is useful. It's part of the human consciousness. Part of the collective human consciousness is the things your ego has to learn. So as you learn your forgiveness lessons, you will peel away that ego, your soul will expand, and you'll be able to bring in more light and more joy. That's another just bottom line. That's what's going on. And as all these aspects align with integrity, with truth and beauty, then your soul will expand, and you will be able to see the truth that the ego was avoiding out of fear. Okay? And you'll be able to reinterpret those fearful thoughts in a way that make more sense, in a way that are more peaceful. And those judgments fall away, the fears will fall away, the relationships will improve, the physical situations will improve, your home will just naturally be easy to clean, the kids will just get along. And I had actually a really good day yesterday. So And I woke up and I meditated and I channeled, even though the kids were not occupied, like they were just playing around me. And it was a great day. And which is, oh my gosh, I gotta keep this up. So this is the first chance I'm having, and I'm doing it, and it feels good. This feels like interesting. So yes, the kids. The first step is to channel. The first step is to channel and raise your frequency. Don't worry about changing your habits. If you feel like doing something healthy, like having a salad for lunch, great, do it. But don't force it, because that's your ego. That's your ego misinterpreting the way. The way is first to receive the information clearly and create a clean channel to receive the information as fully as possible, and let it just cleanse you. Let the light from the truth cleanse your system for a little bit before you try to then extend into your arms and your will. Because this culture is a yang culture, and it's time for some yin energy. It's time for some chilling and some just like observing and allowing and receiving and supporting. These are the verbs that would best serve you right now in your life. And I'm not talking about today. I'm not talking about this full moon. I'm not talking about this month. Until you're solid on the balance between the doing and the being in your body, in your life, in existence, really just fall back into the being. So anyway, that was interesting. I think this is enough. So thank you to my guides. That was good. And namaste.